no, the really slow game. I think that Myztro are going to want to bring it, push into their face a little bit more and try and make them play a different style compared to what they were just playing before.
For sure. It's going to require, I think, on-the-spot adaptability. They're going to have a grasp on how Myztro UK managed to approach 2v2. These guys scrim and stream their scrims on a regular basis, so if you were preparing for these guys, you actually have, endless content to watch and study, particularly seeing as it's North American team with Quaker Orbs, and these guys will not be able to scrim against them online. They might have had the chance to potentially if they got in early enough, but these American teams, they've really had different amounts of time zone adjustments and gameplay adjustments and experience against these European teams.
Well, we are moving into the last series of the day, guys. It is Quaker Orbs versus Myztro UK. I'm on Effortless right now, but you can see the Myztro guys are just moving around as a partnership at the moment, and they secure 2 early kills. Quickly looking at the champions out, Yenem with the Doom, Effortless with Galena. We see Hell with Galena and Garpy with Visor, I believe.
I think one of the things that you can never underestimate, I think, in 2v2 lineups is when people genuinely have these amazing friendships. The thing is, Hell and Garpy, these guys have been friends for so long, and when they 2v2 together, there's a lot of natural synergy there, where you kind of almost be on the same wavelength without having to constantly talk about every minute detail. But of course, that will help anyway.
100%, 100%. Now there is Garpy pushing in. He manages to help lock down the frag with Hell. Effortless also going to go down, but does land a rocket, keep things close a bit. But Hell's going to be able to retain control a bit. And I swear, there's about 400 or so damage exchange just in the first minute on totems at that teleporter exit.
Now this is the map. This is the pivotal map where Myztro UK, they really sort of fell at the last hurdle when it came down to an unfortunate suicide. Well, I think Garpy must be fed up with those suicides on Corrupted Keep at this point, but
he could do with fewer of them, 100%. This time Hell doesn't take 100 damage through a teleporter. I'm proud of you, buddy.
That's the thing about this map that Galena is so dangerous on, because you have to, in so many situations where you kind of feel like you have to use the teleporter, and it's almost guaranteed someone's going to have a totem on there.
Well, let's check out Yenem with 15 seconds up until we get towards the quad. He's managed to hold off to a fair amount of stack. He gets 2 stunning rockets onto Garpy. He was looking kind of the wrong way.
Perfect timing as well, because now, I mean, Hell, there really isn't much he can do to fight. He had to try and do something, but at the end of the day, when you've spawned with minimal weapons, how do you fight for quad when everyone else has the means to do it?
And that was the totem that's going to take him down, but Effortless does manage to find Hell on the exit of that one. And he's got 100 HP left. Didn't see him just do the sort of turn around. Jumps into lava a little bit, but he'll find Garpy irrespective of that.
Manages to get one more, just for good measure. 13 to 11. This is actually what we have seen throughout almost every time these guys collided earlier in the bracket. This was the map. This was the kind of score we were looking at. It was very, very even all the time. If they pulled away, it was right at the end. And to be honest, kind of looks like history's going to be repeating itself at the moment.
Well, that's what I want to see for a last match of the day. Get a nice bit of back and forth going. Garpy manages to find Yenem over the side of the map. Yenem going to spawn close to Effortless, and they're going to try and hold on to this LG control. Garpy has to get a free frag for Effortless, and he's going to essentially 1 versus 2. They did barely any damage to him. Need to get those comms up sooner as to where is Effortless's position, and try not to let him get away with so much.
And that's the strength of Galena too, just instantly healed back up to healthy. Nice and full on that stack.
Well, we're going to be leading up towards the next power-up soon. Myztro decided not to challenge on the mega area so much. That's going to be Effortless walking into some rockets. And they're going to find one more, in fact. Garpy continuing to get the kills. Hell is managing to get rid of a lot of these totems. So he's going to get his totem back up now after taking those health bubbles.
And there's that instant turnaround. Garpy would have been told with 100% certainty that there was someone down there. That's why he flicked around. He's actually able to pick up that 1 versus 1, but he's in danger himself. Has to be careful. The protection's going to be spawning any minute now.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Rocket again, and Yenem as well. Getting the punch out. He's got full natural health. And he might be able to extend this a little bit. He didn't even really need the mega health, but he's surely going to find a way to close the gap and start making things happen. Well, Heavy is taken by a Hell. He goes down, but it's a nice denial at least.
Well, the Mega's going to do a nice job of making sure Yenem can be as aggressive as he likes to not even run a risk. No more rockets, but I wonder if that's... Yeah, it's not going to deter him. He's going to have a higher chance, I think, just heading them off near Mega Rim. And there's that weapon switching. Yeah, Hell really stuck in a bad situation there. No cover to look for. That zoomed in heavy machine gun. The damage adds up incredibly quickly if you're accurate with it.
Really nice work, actually, from Yenem over there. Love the switches we're getting from him. Seeing the disruptor weapon used by Garpy.
But seeing as it looks like Quaker Orbs have been in full control the whole time, Myztro UK aren't actually that far behind.
Not at all. It's extremely close from them. We've got Garpy now, who's got a massive stack. He's moving in with the nail gun.
Really nice, actually, 1v1 there. You kind of run the risk, because obviously the distinct lack of hit scan, you kind of run the risk sometimes in that kind of situation there, not really being able to contest the damage, because you just don't hit enough of those individual shots. Yenem dedicates into Berserk, and with 3 of them back-to-back, Galena is dead guaranteed.
I'm going to keep following him again as they build up towards the quad. We've got Heavy up. Does look like Myztro are able to secure that, but Effortless, he's trying to get another 1 versus 2 going, but it's not successful on this occasion. And we're moving up to just after 5 minutes. The score's incredibly close.
Cool, goes in for the jump pad, risky business, but it does pay off. He gets 1 frag. The 2v1 doesn't quite work because Garpy's a little bit late to the party, but there's not much you can do about that. Now the thing is, Visor, they're going to have general control and they're going to have a general advantage across the map as it goes with the Visor piercing sight, but the power-up, and that's really allowing Quaker Orbs, I think, to maintain this slight lead because they had the protection, they had the quad. And right there's the Berserk. Because they don't have that real trump card of an ability that does constant damage to fight for an ability, it's kind of hurting, I think, Myztro's ability to fight for the power-up at all.
I don't like the fact, I think Hell moved away from Heavy just before it spawned, and they got taken by one of the Quaker Orbs players, which allowed them to be even more stacked up, moving onto the power-up. Quad still in effect for Effortless. It's 29 to 23. They're going to crack 30 surely by the end of this. Oh, he's not going to keep pushing, just gets himself Heavy. There's the LG, locking down the 30th.
And this is very much what we were seeing on previous maps when these guys fought earlier in the group. It was very, very even to begin with, and kind of over time it would start to sort of slip away from Myztro UK more and more. The exact same thing is happening on this map. But it's they've controlled every single power-up so far. Myztro UK have had no presence on the power-up. They pretty much just run in, they take the frags, 2 uncontested frags, speaking of which Yenem gets 2 more, and then they use that power-up to just get more frags that Myztro UK can't answer back at all. Yenem goes in for Berserk, Garpy falls down, the 2v1, this surely has to be another one, and yes it is. Now the lead is kind of dangerous.
Yenem's stack has been crazy as well. He's hardly been losing health and armor in some of these fights. Definitely we need to see Myztro step it up and start getting on those power-ups if they really want to be challenging, moving into the later stages of this map. Heavy about to spawn. Yenem does end up killing himself. Effortless is kind of weak. There's a totem on the exit. Myztro, do not fall for it. Garpy gets a long distance frag.
Oh, he is so weak himself. He has to kind of put himself out of action for a bit, which means Hell very weak too. Both these guys have to be careful. But with it being 15 seconds away from protection, yeah, he probably just needs to die right now. Just
the totem
fresh
goes down. Yeah, I mean, it was a good time to die, admittedly, but you're giving away now quite a lot of frags to Quaker Orbs. Here you go, 5 seconds to the power-up. Hell is positioned above. He's spamming the rockets out. Effortless goes down.
What?
Okay, it does get taken somehow by Yenem.
I have no idea how that happened. I mean, Garpy was all over it, and Yenem just kind of strolls in and picks it up.
Just that quick movement right at the end, rushing with the Doom. It's one of the main impacts that we've seen from Doom, really, is being able to come in for those last second power-up steals.
Unfortunately for Myztro UK, this is not the corrupted keep we saw in the upper bracket, where it came down to one crucial moment. It's just going from bad to worse, and Yenem almost got one of the most insane mid-airs we've seen all day. But not quite.
And this is it. Effortless and Yenem, they just need to feather this one to the end. Don't do anything too reckless and you're going to be just fine. Keep those exchanges going. As long as it's not worse than 2-for-1s, then you're doing a very good job.
I'd actually be surprised if with 7 frags left to go, I'm not even sure, will we potentially, with how things are going, well, granted it was Myztro, I was saying, will we even see the power-up get picked up? About 1 minute to go, they need 6 more on Quaker Orbs. They've not been shy of racking them up, one after the other.
What we've seen is that we've seen a slow pace from Quaker Orbs. They didn't manage to get the win versus AMD, but they clearly showed that they could play and compete with that style. But this faster style that Myztro are playing, they seem even more comfortable with that. They like getting stuck in to these fights and work with the trades a little bit more.
Absolutely, and they get 1 more, make that 2. 4 more frags, and Quaker Orbs. This is actually one of their best maps they've had against Myztro UK all day. It's a far cry from what we've seen before. This could be dangerously foreshadowing for them.
This was the map that was very close in the last series, wasn't it?
It was. This was actually the decider map. Not as in it was the third map, but it was the map where there was that one crucial moment with Garpy that kind of really changed the tone of everything.
Unfortunately for Myztro, they've not been able to make it as close as last time around, but we are seeing a rush now for the power-up. Hell trying to get in as well, looking for the machine gun to land. He's doing a lot of damage with it. Garpy's on the side, but he's going to go down regardless. That is going to be Quaker Orbs. Looking good in the first map.
Wonderfully well played actually in that first map from Quaker Orbs. I really actually think that the Berserk from Doomslayer, it was such a key factor of taking the power-ups, and the power-ups kind of allowed that snowball effect to continue. It just kind of added up as time went on. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I think the visor is always going to be useful because you have that knowledge, you have the eyes, the coordination with the team. Obviously, it's going to work really well. But at the end of the day, Doom Guy's Berserk was such a key factor for taking those power-ups because they had that guaranteed damage. Doesn't matter whether they've just spawned, doesn't matter whether they have low health or high health. You're fast moving, harder to hit, and big damage guaranteed regardless of your situation.
Completely. Just at the end there, we saw Effortless with 29 frags. He was leading the way on the server. We had Yenem with 21, and actually Garpy and Hell fairly even with one. I didn't quite catch how many there were, but in the sort of mid to late teams that they had. So yeah, Effortless having a great game there. We saw the amount of kind of 1 versus 2s he was getting, or at least the amount of impact he was having with the damage. I wonder if they're going to be able to follow onto that into Ruins at next. There's a cheeky glance down there.
Yeah, I must say I'm actually a little bit concerned because Ruins of Sarnath, this was the final map these guys played on in that upper bracket. Right. It was the map that sent Myztro UK into elimination territory, and it actually kind of looked very similar to this map where it was slow at the beginning, and then the lead kind of started to escape them a little bit, which allowed Quaker Orbs to, in typical 2v2 fashion, kind of run away with it. And it looked like they were much better on this map too. Okay. So if they pretty much repeat what they did, I would be worried if I was Myztro UK. We might see a 2-0 here in the favor of Quaker Orbs.
Completely. And, I know that the guys in Quaker Orbs, they managed to get this funded. They went out crowdsourcing in the community, managed to find their way here. They're looking to get a strong performance. They believe in themselves as well, that they can go far in this tournament. Every game that they're playing is kind of them trying to make a statement, say, hey, we could be a team that could be sponsored moving into future events as well. So
I think with this being the first LAN as well, it's so pivotal that you make a good impression straight away, because this is the first of multiple LANs that will be taking place throughout the course of the year, and that's all. It's been announced that it's happening. So much rides on the first event of the year. It really kind of creates the storylines. It shows who's going to be dominant early. Speaking of which, 2-0 for Myztro UK.
Yeah, early start, lots of cess action to begin with, and it's really looking good for Myztro off the beginning of this. Effortless going to go down too. Garpy, incredibly weak, probably going to walk into a machine gun fire now and go down, but he actually knocks him off, forces him to go a long way around to pick up the mega health. Checking out Hell, he takes damage after getting heavy armor, but he is with Garpy.
Actually, both of these players on Myztro UK, particularly rail heavy. So even though they lost on Ruins, it is a map that favors a rail heavy player.
Yeah, Hell's a pretty rail heavy guy. I would expect him to be landing, 60+% rail throughout this map. And he's already shown that he's been hitting some good shots just a minute into this game. They've got a very minor lead, but that is going to be Garpy on his own, trying to get as much damage as he can. He actually manages to take down Yenem during that exchange.
The thing is, Garpy's actually been alone almost this entire map. Now, Hell, he does actually get a couple of good rails, but it's not going to be enough. The stack far too significant. Now, with 30 seconds on the clock, this is kind of the time we tend to see players, they start to play around the power-up, they start to control the room. Hell does manage to pick up one more, fresh off the spawn. They're going to have to get some data on where they are, near rail.
Oh, here we go. Piercing sight use. Trying to find a safe way up. He realizes he could be, running into a gauntlet just there, so decides, you know what, I'll break away from that, even land a rail. I start looking good moving into the first power-up.
Now, here comes the power-up. We're going to go into Myztro UK and jump in on some comms. Take it away.
He's weak. Above you, visor, NGM.
That's fine. One gun to heavy. I'm going to play for Mega.
One on heavy now. Railed up.
Mega at 45.
One rail. LG now.
$45 for thingy, mate. Okay, they are. One's drop down rail. They're both heavy. They're both heavy. Just gonna do pick damage. Railed 100.
40.
Get mega. Get mega.
40
nail.
mega.
Just the damage. Yeah. Oh my god, 100 rockets on each of them.
Oh my god, but somehow they were the ones that actually lost in that exchange. That feels really unfortunate.
They managed to time the thingy though, fortunately.
Yeah,
So it was all covered there. Nice one, Garpy.
Well, I feel like that's actually, I think that's a testament to how these guys just kind of know each other.
It's like, you know what I'm talking about.
Like Garpy's able to say, look, the thingy's at 45, and Hell's able to go, all right, cool. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
And then get the stuff afterwards, and then over there, and then we'll be fine. All right, Hell. Yeah, nice one. I do love those guys.
Oh my god, that was almost a 2v1 from Hell right there.
He's got him down low. Hell is going to get the respawn, and with the machine gun, looking pretty good. Now, it is still Quaker Orbs to hound by just a couple. Effortless weak, looking for a mid-air to close it out. There's Mega spawning in just a second. Is there going to be a push forward? No. Yenem secures that Mega health. He's got no weapons, really, to try and challenge onto the power-up that's coming up in just a few seconds.
Now, Garpy with the suicide, that might have also been another one of those tactical suicides where he wanted to give himself a bigger stack for this fight for protection. Because it was about 10 seconds before. Oh, normally you see that hasn't worked out. Yenem is super weak. Even with that totem, he's railable. Effortless, very weak as well. Oh my god, 12 HP, can't pick it up, but how weak is Galena?
It's got to be not that strong, actually. He does get 100 rocket, but there might be some further pressure. LG on
he got the heavy!
He does, but he's still got extremely little health.
Yeah, forced Garpy to run away, but not before putting enough of a chink in the armor that I think he knows that they're not. The threat of the protection I don't think is going to be apparent. He's going to try and get a little bit more, but with that rail missing, protection's going to be over. Only one rocket too.
There's a couple of little surprises down in Jay's spot as soon as Hell and Garpy decide to go out down there, if they indeed do. Otherwise, it's a nice little healing ground for Quaker Orbs.
Yep, and that's Galena on Ruins of Sarnath. There are some places where, like, you know that the totem can go down, but it's not as, I guess, expected. And if they're not going to be going near that part of the map often, then it's going to be almost like a free healing well. And I'm deliberately ignoring Mega, knowing that he's going to try and poke them down with Rail first, and then when he takes damage, that's going to be the time he either collects Mega himself, or right there, Effortless was able to collect it instead. Unfortunately, Yenem gets deleted straight after.
That hurt a lot, and going past the dead guy is Effortless. Can he stay alive? Looking for Rail to follow up, but the LG from Hell is actually sticking pretty nicely. Yenem's going to get himself the heavy for free. Hell, no extra lightning gun. We're 15 for 15, and Hell, he's hit some awesome rail shots.
He's loving those angles as well. You know, those angles where like he can actually get entire vision on your model, but he's actually a little bit cut off because he has the high ground. And now the attention has been split. Garpy's up behind. He managed to pick up one. Can Hell make it two?
He's found the totem as well. Has to be careful to break away. Only 18 health. He's looking for some support from Garpy. He comes in.
I'm kind of surprised actually that Garpy collected the Mega. I'm assuming that might have been an insurance policy going in for the quad spawn. Lovely flick! Garpy with a wonderful shot. But now he's weak. Very weak.
He's going to be calling for help. He's like, mate, I'm going to need something over here because I'm about to go down. Effortless with a vertical rail, and he's picking up another. What the hell was that from Effortless?
That was impressive. That's what it was.
Here we go.
Another shot coming through for Effortless.
He was doing that all without piercing sight. We were seeing some insane rails from this man. He's looking for what? As soon as he's got piercing sight on, he's not landing them, which is just...
2 in a row right there.
Yeah.
2 in a row. Of course, it's classic. Kaplan and I were literally just talking about that earlier.
Right, the stack is good. He's going to close out the run with the quad dying in his hands. And he's going to be able to continue getting the weapons. Garpy looking to get away with some of the stack. He's going to realize this guy has got a lot of health.
Oh my god!
He just phases through the teleporter quickly.
Just at the nick of time right there.
He needed that.
Very close game. 19 frags apiece.
This is what I want to see.
I'm not surprised. I mean, this is elimination map for Myztro UK. They need this.
Exactly. And one thing about them is they are very headstrong. You know, in pressured situations, they're not going to crumble under the pressure. And right now, you've got two slightly less experienced, at least at the same level that Garpy and Hell have played historically. Two players, Effortless and Yenem. They now need to be headstrong.
Evolus taking an absolute buttload of damage, but actually winning that fight.
Wow.
And getting a double kill. The second he got caught off that jump pad, I was almost completely confident he was going to die there for free, but the recovery, the second Yenem went in, it's one of those things, again, just kind of forcing the attention to be split. Myztro UK up by 1 frag at this point in time, but we have to put our eyes on that power-up. It's going to spawn again, and it's going to spawn in 25 seconds.
It is a fickle lead. Oh, nice support there. With just the 1 rocket needed at the end. He's running low on LG. Can he close that one out? He's looking at rockets now, but he's setting up totems. He's got 3 on the board. He had 3 again a moment ago, so one must have just disappeared.
Fighting towards the Mega, but dies right before it appears, which is actually going to give the tools to Quaker Orbs, and they're landing some wonderful rockets. And their reward is going to be that protection. If Hell doesn't manage to twice in a row, that's going to be costly.
Oh, Hell, if he watches this back, he'll be kicking himself for missing those 2 rails, because that could possibly have saved a power. Although, I think Yenem was really close by. That's so useful. I wonder if anything's going to clock on for the Myztro UK guys in terms of, hey, they come out of that room, and they're really stacked as soon as they come back out.
Yep. And that's a 2v1. Going to be surprised if Garpy manages to get a kill, of which he doesn't. Surrounded. Only 2 frags in the lead, though, so I think Myztro UK can work with this, but Quaker Orbs, they have the momentum now, and they have the map advantage. It's completely on their side.
This is one of the largest leads that we've seen in this map.
It's crazy how it's only a matter of 3 frags, but you're definitely right.
They managed to get himself a 2-for-1 over here. Evolus trying to punish on the sideline, does take down Hell, so he manages to make it a fair exchange with his teammate, and that's really positive.
Here comes that rail fight, finishing the job with the LG, knowing Garpy's going to be really weak. 4 frags now separate these 2 teams. 5 frags updated.
Let's see. 45 seconds to go now to the power-up, so these guys are going to start thinking about how's control looking over the heavy items, the major items, as that one's about to spawn. Evolus picks up heavy, so it's going to work out, can I pick up that heavy again before the next power-up spawns, or do I want to set up camp a little earlier? We've got 5 frag advantage now. Evolus looking for the 1v1 on Hell. He throws a totem out in desperation, but it's not going to account for anything.
I'm super impressed in Evolus, like his survivability. I know he might go down now, but no, he doesn't, because of an amazing rocket. He needed it to do 100, and he did just that. But he's always got stacked, you know, even when he wins a fight where he's in a bad situation where he has to run away, he's been on a killing spree for like a couple of minutes now. He just refuses to go down.
Well, we need to see the Myztro guys coming in. It's 1 second till it spawns, and they don't seem to be anywhere at all, Ketchup. They're out in the distance. It looks like they were just going for the rails instead, and it's not worked out. This is not the time to be dropping power-ups like this. They went over to the heavy armor, and that was about 7 seconds before the quad spawned. But they didn't really have time to get into a position or to fight through everything.
And now they're completely clustered together, so this is danger territory. Does manage to get 1 rocket, 5 health. Survives. And there's that totem to undo a lot of that work. Going towards heavy as well. Evolus collects this heavy. Just like that, he's now more dangerous. Straight up.
8 frag advantage. Myztro UK on the brink of elimination. Unless they can pull off a very solid comeback. There's going to be quite a lot of frags to make back, actually, in the amount of time left.
It pains me to say, but history is again repeating itself. Very, very close beginning, and as we kind of reach the final 5 minutes, it's escaping Myztro UK for another time. Has been the running theme when these teams have been going head-to-head. It's been Quaker Orbs having that edge on them every single time they play. And they've looked a lot more, they've looked even more dominant since they've been put into elimination territory. Garpy drops. Hell, does he go down as well?
Ooh. I guess a little totem frag just to help him out a bit. They needed that. Anything that can get some wind under their sails. I'm going to check out some of the Myztro guys as it's time for them to break back in. And that heavy's about to get taken right now. I think that is a Quaker Orb player that gets it. We've got 10 seconds until the Mega, so they're going to really want to protect that item. But Garpy is tremendously weak right now. Oh my god, and Evolus.
And it's just in time for the protection to spawn. And they've been out of control of all of these major pickups for a good 5 minutes at least. And it's starting to really add up. They can't really take these fights. So when they do try and take the fights, they get so many frags that aren't returned. just like that, where Hell tries to make the big play, he tries to run in, get the protection, run with it, doesn't work out, dies for no reason, and now Effortless with a chunky stack and protection. Garpy drops. He manages to find Hell as well.
He's just backing off. He's like, please allow me to survive a little longer.
Oh, he missed the rail, maybe.
Being a little bit greedy just then, going for such rail shots. Hell was doing a ton of LG damage out of position. But here comes the rocket. LG to follow up. He's still not dying. And he just takes the mega health in front of him. And Memphis is going to be like, God damn it. I chased him for a quarter of an hour there and nothing.
But the thing is, I still think that Effortless is going to have the last laugh there, because look at the frag difference. That wasted a lot of time, not much frag at all. Like, no frags were taken. So if they have a lead this big, who cares? They're laughing. And we have to draw attention to the timer as well. We're nearing 2 minutes left and 10 frags. So be it timeout or frag limit, Quaker Orbs are in full control of this final map.
2 minutes time, it could be Myztro only going through of one of their teams into day 2.
So
it's been a tough group F, to be fair. Lots of very competitive games that we've had overall. And I'm starting to smell victory right now for Effortless and Yenem, and that's going to be a relief. And I really like the fact actually they've done it in quite possibly 2 maps now. It really shows they're not letting the pressure get to them so much. They don't have to force themselves over for that psychological torture on a map 3. These are 2 guys with a lot of focus.
For sure, and I think it's making sure they can withstand teams of different calibers. And Myztro UK is not to be underestimated by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, the second they've taken the lead on this map, it has had no signs of slowing down.
I mean, for a time, they were looking like one of the only teams in N8 that could really challenge Liquid, the Rafa and the Hang team. So the amount of practice that they managed to get just against them, it's going to build their confidence a lot. You know, every time they're taking maps and so on, every time they're taking the game to them. I think Quaker Orbs are going to be mentally like extremely strong moving into day 2.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 more frags is going to put these guys into qualification territory. And with this being the final series of the night, this is going to potentially be one hell of a note to end it on. The problem is, I mean, we talk about things being guaranteed. 2 more frags and 30 seconds. Myztro UK, the deficit is extreme. And Yenem just going absolutely crazy. 1 more shot. Give us the frag.
Oh, he can't get it. You jinxed him straight away.
Yes, I did. No regrets.
But Garpy, he's left with too much work to do with only 20 seconds to go.
Oh, this is 2v1. He's dead. He's absolutely going to be dead. He manages to get a great direct, but it's no way near enough. Quaker Orbs getting more than the run back, and they're going to be the final team of the night to qualify for tomorrow's extra group stages.
Yeah, massive, massive congrats to them for making over to day 2. And you know what? Moving aside some post-game analysis, we've got an interesting little note over here.
Yes, we do.
That's a nice note.
This
is the knowledge paper.
This is the list of teams that we're now going to be seeing tomorrow. A lot of these groups, you know, some of these groups you probably wouldn't have expected to see given the crazy talent that was here, but I think it's a testament to how these guys can actually turn up on the LAN. So why don't you give us a list who's going to be seeing tomorrow?
Oh, I don't actually know if I want to say it now.
Are you going to do that? Are you going to do that to people?
No, I don't want to receive any negative things in my inbox. There's going to be enough eating gifts as it is, so...
Yes, there is. I'd be surprised if it was not on the Reddit already.
So we've got